Hello everyone, my name is Cap and welcome back to the channel. Another 7 days of that video. I'm doing all this in Alpha 17. This is the experimental build, so things kind of change a little bit as they get closer to a stable build. Just do keep that in mind. But today I want to show you guys the 4x4 truck. This thing is an absolute beast. It is just really cool looking. It's a two-seater, so you and a friend can drive along. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the truck, and then I'm going to show you what it takes to make it, because it is a large undertaking to be able to make one of these things in the game. So first off, I know a thing that people have been asking a lot of is regarding storage. I want to show you guys how much vehicle storage this has. There's a huge grid of stuff that you can store in there, so you're going to be pretty good on being able to store a whole lot of stuff in this, which is expected with a truck this size. And the other thing is, you know, it usually has pretty good fast speed right here. It makes a whole lot of noise, of course, but you can see all the stats here. Durability is about 7,500. Now, something to keep in mind is we have all these empty modifier slots over here, but they're not in the game just yet. This is one of those to-be-added things, so I'm not quite sure what it's going to be able to mod. Maybe you can get additional weapons on here. That'd be kind of cool, like a mounted turret or something. Or it might be just cosmetic stuff. I don't necessarily know yet. But we're going to get into how to make this, and hopefully we can get through this because it's a little bit complicated. So stay with me here. Alright, so what you're going to need to be able to make the truck is you're going to have a forge and a workbench like you would expect, but they've changed the way you have to go about getting the workbench and the forge. Now, if you guys want me to, I can do a more in-depth video on how to do those individually, but just to kind of cover it now, you're going to have to go under your skill tree here. And where you're going to be needing to go to is the intellect tree. Now, keep in mind, in order to be able to do this, you're going to have to get your character level up. So you're going to have to do all the crafting and the building and the mining and all the other stuff you do to level up, because you're going to have to get way up in the levels before you can build pretty much anything. Now, in order to be able to do anything to be able to build the forge, you're going to have to get your intellect up to at least level 9. So that costs you 4 points to get up there. And then down here under the craftsmanship perks on the hammer and forge section, in order to be able to make a forge, you got to be able to unlock this first one you have here. So you have to be in level 20 total to get to this point. So you can see you're already going to have to grind a bit before you can even make forges and iron tools and weapons. So that's something else that you're going to have to keep in mind. Now, you're also going to need to have a workbench, so you'll have to get your intellect up to level 5 in order to be able to go down to the advanced engineering here and be able to unlock those down here. So you're looking at an additional level points to go with those, but you have to be able to get to like level 30 before it'll let you unlock all of this down here. So you're going to end up having to grind a whole bunch just to be able to get to the forge and to the workbench just to start with. Now, when it comes to the actual construction of the vehicles, you're going to have to be able to get your grease monkey stat here all the way up to level 4. Now, this is going to require you to be basically level 80. So you're going to have to work a good long time before this. For you see, you start off with bicycles, mini bikes, motorcycles, 4x4s, and eventually you can get to the gyrocopter, which we'll cover in an entirely different video too. And then the last thing you need to do is you need to go back under the hammer and forge thing. You need to get all the way down to level 3 where you can craft steel tools, because you're going to have to be able to make steel before you can work on the stuff, the chassis and stuff for the truck. So you're going to need a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, just max out as many points as you can in intellect, get up to at least level 80 in your character, and you'll be able to do all this. You'll require a bunch of points. But that's what you're going to need to be able to craft this sort of stuff. Okay, now in order to be able to make a workbench, you have to be able to have forged iron, mechanical parts, a wrench, claw hammer, and wood. They didn't really change the recipes much on this, but that's what you're going to have to be able to make that. And to be able to make a forge, you have to be able to have the perk necessarily for it, and then once you have all the actual supplies, then you can make one and you have it down here. Now, something else you have to keep in mind is that in the forge you have to have a crucible, which you can make on the workbench. The crucible allows you to be able to make steel parts, to be able to make the steel bars that you're going to need to do this. You're going to need a bunch of forged iron, mechanical parts, small stone, clay soil, stuff that you can get. But again, this is going to be one of those, is going to take a while to get all the way up there. So once you actually have the crucible in there, then you can actually make steel bars that you're going to need the forged steel here, which you'll just use iron and clay to make a whole bunch of steel bars, because you're going to need those to be able to build everything that you're going to need for this truck. Now, once you have all of that put together, then all you have to do is just go to the workbench and type in the word truck. And you're going to see that you have some different options you have here. The first thing you're going to make, obviously, is the chassis, which you'll have to have 300 forged steel, 50 mechanical parts, a bunch of duct tape, some leather, and electrical parts. So these things you can get a little bit easier. Mechanical parts, you can take apart cars and shopping carts and stuff like that to get them. And the forged steel, you'll have to trudge through changing all your scrap or all your iron into forged steel in the forge. And once you have everything assembled and your inventory basically just full of a whole bunch of crap to be able to make this sort of thing, you're going to have to be able to make the chassis first, which you need a bunch of forged steel, mechanical parts, duct tape, leather, electrical parts, and you got to make the 4x4 truck accessories, which you'll need headlights, short iron pipes, and electrical parts for. Now it's going to take about 30 seconds to craft the accessories, but it's going to take a while to craft the actual chassis itself. So it's one of those you can just kind of set it and forget it sort of things. And once you have all of that completed, then you are ready to make the actual truck. You have to have 4 wheels, the actual chassis, of course, the accessories, a small engine, and a lead battery. Now, something of note is that they changed the way things are done in the game as far as like their rating when you pick up things. You can see like the battery shows a 5 here, the small engine is just a 1. Everything's just like 1s and 1s, 1s. Now, some of the other things, these are just quantities, they're stackable. But you can see that the items don't go up past 5 or 6. Now when you get to 6, that's a purple item, so you no longer have like a level 600 item. They made it a little bit simpler. So it's 1 is the cheapest that you can get, and 6 is the best you're going to get. So when you start seeing these like a level 5 battery, that's a blue one, that's as good as it's going to get. But at least once you have the truck, you spend all that time making the chassis and the accessories, it only takes 2 seconds to actually craft the truck. And strange enough is that once you actually make this, you can like put it in your pocket. And so once you're ready to actually use this, you'll just head down to wherever you want it to go. And see, it made me a level 5 truck here. Then you can just kind of place it however you want to, as long as it's on some level. All right, give me some green here. Come on. Nope, come back. There we go. Place it right there. And we're good to go. And now you have the truck here. And so this is actually a little bit better quality, I think, than the original one I had. I think this one, see, this one's only a 6700 quality because it's a level 5 truck versus the other one. This one is a level 6 truck. And something that's kind of strange, but it's interesting and kind of cool too, is that you can take it. You can put it back in your inventory. So you can just pick up a gigantic truck and put it in your pocket. See, like this one's a level 6, and this one is a level 5, and so they have different durabilities here. And yeah, you'll be able to do modifying, and you can scrap them if you want to, but that's pretty much all there is. Now, one of the things I was kind of curious about is, let's put this right here, go into the storage. I'm wondering if you put, we'll just hypothetical, we're going to do some truck inception. We're going to put a truck inside the truck inventory here. Now, I wonder what happens if you pick this up, take it with you. You must empty the vehicle container before picking it up. Okay, that's what I was kind of curious, is whether you're going to be able to kind of cheat your backpack a little bit. If you could just load this bad boy completely full of stuff, just put all your inventory there, and then pick up the truck and put it in your inventory, and it'd only take up 1 spot. So as long as you don't have anything in it, you can pick it up and take it with you. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention here. In order to be able to repair the truck, you can just do it here, or you can go under the open part and repair. You have to have a repair kit, which is kind of strange. You'd normally think you would need this for like weapons and stuff, but you do need the repair kit to be able to repair vehicles. If you don't have this in your inventory, you just click on repair. It makes the little clink sound to let you know you don't have the necessary materials, and so you may just be fumbling around trying to figure out what it is, but then you just need repair kit. I don't know for certain exactly how much it repairs per usage, but just using it one time, it used 1 repair kit and it was able to restore it all the way down. I haven't done extensive testing to see how much it takes to repair, like if you get this down to, let's say, 1 durability, if you can use just 1 repair kit and it maxes it out. But at least it's a little bit simpler because you can just make it from cloth, oil, duct tape, and forged iron. And so it's not an incredible amount. You'd have to have a ton of other supplies to be able to repair these, so you can kind of do it on the go. Now, like I said, when it comes to doing some of the more in-depth on the truck itself about how fast it goes and damage it does to zombies, that's a whole nother test that's going to take a little bit more work to do, though. But you are pretty much good to go. And the truck will hold 1,000 gallons of gas, so it's probably the biggest tank that's actually out there. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, is that, this thing will hold a whole lot of gas. It has quite a bit of durability. But everything in the world now can be pretty much damaged by the vehicles. They took all that away in Alpha 15, but now, in Alpha 16, because you could do all this in Alpha 15, but everything can be damaged by the vehicles. Now, of course, your vehicle's taking damage too, but when you run over rocks or trees or trash or zombies or buildings or anything, you will do damage to it, and so you can actually knock a whole bunch of stuff down. So, like I said, we'll get into an in-depth on how much damage can be done with these sort of things after a while, and to see what kind of speed level they have. But that's pretty much it. That is the truck in a nutshell. Like I said, it is way complicated to get, and it's definitely not something you're going to have in just in your first couple days, since you have to grind all the way to level 80 to get it. But I think I covered everything. I'm hoping I covered everything. There was a lot to that. But hopefully this was useful to you guys. If you have any questions, of course, drop it in the comment section. I'll see if I can help you out. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button down below. And be sure to subscribe if you're not already, so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you smash the little bell icon, you'll get notified when a new video goes up. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for all the support. You have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later.